and welcome to the National News Broadcast, bringing to you live from the National News Studios here at the MRI Rupavahini Corporation. We're ready to bring you the top stories here at home and around the world. I am Charita Minuparachi.
And I'm Shram Masquinius. First, it's a look at the day's headlines.
Dengue control programs will commence island-wide from the 16th of this month. 3 members of the same family dies in a road accident at Tulhiria. Cow fever disease spread to Western province as well. Patients face immense difficulties due to breakdown of MRI scan at the Anuradhapura General Hospital. Price of medicines will go down from the 15th of this month. No more disciplinary actions against the SLFP parliamentarians who joined the government. Volcano in the Philippines activates. On to those and other stories in detail now, and starting off with the top local story. The National Dengue Control Program will begin on the 16th of this month.
The program is titled Dengue, will be implemented with the support of the national television. 43,946 dengue cases have been reported island-wide so far this year. Out of them, 28 patients succumbed to the disease. The dengue menace has shown a significant increase in Colombo, Puttalam, Kegalle and Kurunegala districts. 25% of the entire amount of patients are school children. The National Dengue Control Unit points out, therefore, priority should be given to schools in implementing dengue control programs. Attention has also been focused to take stern legal actions to destroy mosquito breeding places. Director of the National Dengue Control Unit, Consultant Dr. Nalin Aryaratna, says the public health inspectors have been educated to carry out these programs successfully. A discussion on dengue control was held at the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation premises today. The dengue control program will be implemented at 9:30 a.m. on the 16th of this month, centering Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation, Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation and the National Film Corporation. Later programs will be implemented once in fortnight based on 11 schools. In the morning, an awareness program will be held and a dengue control program will be carried out in the evening. Reckitt's company with the brand name of Mortein sponsors these programs. Police say that strong legal actions will be taken against the persons who keep dengue breeding grounds in their premises. Chairman of the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation, W.B. Ganegala, said that as the national television, with the support of the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation, hopes to implement an intensive program on behalf of the country. Our staff is having talks with the relevant stakeholders to implement programs for the next 6 months.
3 members of the same family were killed by a road accident occurred at the Tulhiria area along the Ambepussa Alava Road at 5:30 a.m. this morning. The accident occurred when a 3-wheeler and a tipper collided head-on. The deceased have been identified as father, mother and a 13-year-old son of the same family. They succumbed to their injuries after admitting to Varakapula Hospital. The victims had come back from after participating in a wedding in Galle area. The police suspects that the driver of the 3-wheeler had fallen asleep at the time of the accident. Varakapula police have arrested the driver of the tipper. He was produced before Varakapula Magistrate Court and remanded until the 23rd of this month. A pedestrian who was crossing the Galle Road at the Thotupala junction in Kalutara was knocked down by a motorcycle and died on the spot. The incident was recorded in a nearby CCTV camera. The motorbike rider fled the scene soon after the accident. However, he was taken into custody and produced before Kalutara Magistrate Court and later released on bail. Police said that the bike rider couldn't control the speed when the pedestrian crossed the road in reckless manner.
The Met Department says that showers or thunder showers will experience in several areas in the island tomorrow. Some areas may experience heavy rains over 50 millimeters. Intermittent rains or thunder showers may experience in the western Sabaragamuwa provinces and in the Galle and Mathura districts. The Met Department also announces that several rounds of rains will occur in the northwestern and central provinces. Showers or thunder showers will all occur in the Uva province and in the Ampara and Batticaloa districts in the evening or night. Winds over 40 km per hour will occur in the western slopes of the central hills and in the northern and north-central provinces and in the Hambantota, Puttalam and Trincomalee districts. Sea areas from Puttalam, Manna via Kankasanthore to Trincomalee and the sea belt from Hambantota to Pothuwil will be fairly rough. The Met Department further announces that sea areas of Puttalam, Colombo, Galle and Hambantota will also be fairly rough.
And meanwhile, the government's Veterinary Surgeons Association says that the cow fever is rapidly spreading in the central and western provinces as well. Therefore, it is compulsory to have an approval of a veterinary surgeon to transport animals. Cow fever or the lumpskin disease is newly identified in Sri Lanka. It was reported in the north central and northwestern provinces during the past period. However, it is reported that there is no risk of spreading the disease among humans. Infected animals can be identified with inflammation and swellings on the skin. The disease is transferred by vectors such as ticks, flies, fleas, mosquitoes and insects. The disease spreads animal to animal through the body contact. It is essential to provide antibiotics to the infected animals under the recommendation of veterinary doctors.
Patients visiting the Anuradhapura General Hospital faced immense difficulties due to the breakdown of the MRI scan machine. Director of the hospital, Dulan Samaraveera, says that it is not functioning for several months. The machine broke down in January this year. However, it was repaired after 3 months. After 1 month of functioning, it has broken down again. At a press briefing held by the Government Medical Officers Association, this situation was revealed to the public. Director of the Anuradhapura General Hospital, Dulan Samaraveera, expressed confidence that the machine can be repaired without delay.
Minister of Health Kehala Rambukwala says that the prices of medicinal drugs will be reduced by 16% from the 15th of this month. The necessary legal measures in this connection are being taken at present. The minister made these remarks at a media briefing held in Kundasale today. Health Minister Kehala Rambukwala said that the health sector is facing very sensitive situation at present. However, the shortage of medicines have been eased at considerable extent at present. Prices of medicines will be reduced by 16% from the 15th of this month. Due to appreciation of rupee, the government has decided to reduce the prices accordingly. Prices will be further decreased in the next 3 months as well.
Sri Lanka Freedom Party has decided to stop taking disciplinary action against 6 parliamentarians of the party who joined the government. The party had referred the matter to the Politburo and the Central Committee to take necessary actions. Chairman of the party, Maithripala Sirisena, has informed this in a letter sent to the relevant MPs. SLFP has conducted investigations against Ministers Nimal Siripala de Silva, Mahinda Amaraveera and the State Minister Lasantha Alagiyavanna. Ranjit Simbala Pitya, Khadar Mastan, Jagat Pushpakumara and Chamara Sampath. However, Maithripala Sirisena has informed that no action will be taken against them in future. This decision has been unanimously approved by the Central Committee of the SLFP when they met on the 5th of this month.
Several electoral Balamandala meetings organized by the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna was held last weekend. The Anuradhapura West Electoral Balamandala meeting was held at the participation of party president, representatives and many supporters. Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna parliamentarian Johnston Fernando said that the majority of the party decided to appoint Ranil Wickremesinghe as the president. The party did it because people of the country demanded a suitable leader to change the political system of the country. Therefore, we placed our trust on Ranil Wickremesinghe. Some people ask us about the presidential election. We as politicians have many duties to achieve for the country before holding elections. The Beruval Electoral Balamandala meeting of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna was held last evening. Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna parliamentarian Namal Rajapaksha said that the government should prepare a suitable program to encourage entrepreneurs. The Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna will extend its maximum support for this matter.
The national organizer of the Samagijana Balavagia Parliamentarian Tissa Thanayaka says that the Sri Lanka rupee will again depreciate against the US dollar soon after the government starts repaying foreign debts from January next year. He points out that the government has no suitable program to overcome this situation. Parliamentarian Tissa Thanayaka made these remarks at a meeting held in Avisavila electorate yesterday to enlighten the party activists. National organizer of the Samagijana Balavagia Parliamentarian Tissa Thanayaka said that this temporary relief is due not to paying our debts back. However, from next January, Sri Lanka has to pay back the debt installments again. We do not import goods from foreign countries at present. However, if we want to export our products, then we have to import their products as well. Foreign countries demand us to import their items. Then our dollar reserves will gradually go down.
Leader of the National People's Power, Anura Kumara Dissanayake, says that avenues are open at present for a real transformation of political system in the country. He points out that people do not place their trust further on the conventional political parties. NPP leader made these remarks addressing the NPP electoral Balamandala meeting held in Navalapitiya yesterday. Leader of the National People's Power, Anura Kumara Dissanayake, said that a ground has been prepared for a timely change in politics in the island. The National People's Power has built up a vast political movement with a correct vision. Political camps represented by Mahinda, Ranil and Sajid were strong in the past. People had gathered around these conventional political parties in the past. However, people have lost their confidence in these traditional political camps at present. These major parties have ruined the economy of this country during the past period of 75 years. Now the people are rallying around the National People's Power to have a real change in the Sri Lankan politics.
Deputy Leader of the United National Party, Ruwan Wijewardena, says that the President's aim is to transform Sri Lanka into a developed country. The President has already started the program in this connection. He made these comments participating in the Mirigam electorate Balamandala meeting of the United National Party yesterday. Deputy Leader of the United National Party, Ruwan Wijewardena, said that this year people celebrated the Sinhala and Tamil New Year, Vesak and Posam festivals. Dancehall has been organized in every town and village in the country. The President has made the country stable within a very short period of time. The President hopes to provide more concessions to the people by the end of this year. Pathahewahata electorate Balamandala meeting of the United National Party was held yesterday under the patronage of the Chief of the Presidential Staff, Sagala Ratnayaka. Chief of the Presidential Staff said that many state-owned enterprises such as Sri Lankan Airlines have become white elephants. Common masses had to bear the costs maintaining these highly expensive entities. Therefore, the President has decided to ease the burden of the people by handing over these businesses to suitable investors. Well, that's a look at local news. More local news coming up, and on the story about the threats to villages from wild elephants near Kalabeva.
Prima Kutumi, Fantamai.
Welcome back to the news. Threats to villages from wild elephants near Kalabeva Reservoir has increased due to the rise of water level of the Kalabeva.
Since the grasslands of the catchment areas of Kalabeva have gone underwater, over 300 wild elephants in the area are intruding to nearby villages in search of foods. Motor transport of the Palagala Negampaha road that turns to the Pallakale Sanctuary Elephant Corridor adjacent to the Kalabeva had to be stopped for several hours yesterday as a wild elephant blocked the road. The jumbo had also attempted to attack several vehicles running along the road. Later, wildlife officers from Galkiriagama entered the scene and chased the elephant into the jungle. Usually, the water level of the Kalabeva goes down during the period of June and July, and there are ample amount of grass and fodder for wild elephants to feed on the meadow meadows around the reservoir. However, the water level has risen this year, inundating the meadows. A large number of wild elephants from Galgabur, Tirapane and Haburana jungles used to come to Kalababa Sanctuary and adjacent meadows to feed on the lush greenery. It is reported that the irrigation department is maintaining the water level of the reservoir at higher position. This has derived the wild elephants around the area. Vast stretch of greener pasture is rampant that the wild elephants come to villages seeking food. Even some tuskers were killed by entangling in insecure high-power electricity wires, those running over the villages. The environmentalists point out that if the water level of the reservoir being kept at a higher level, many more wild elephants will face immense difficulties.
4 new buses have been added to the routes centering the Eastern Colombo General Hospital. The inauguration ceremony was held at the Eastern Colombo General Hospital. The aim of this move is to enhance transport facilities in the rural areas of Colonava electorate. Accordingly, the new buses will be added to the routes of 164 Town Hall Himbutana, 151 Ambatale Thotalanga and Route 714 Himbutana Battaramulla. Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena said that Angoda and Mithuramulla depots should be merged and developed as a single depot to provide vast service to the public. Then the minister made an observation visit to Angoda and Mithuramulla's SLTB depots. The minister said that both depots will be established in the Mithuramulla premises. Colonava electoral organizer of the Sri Lanka Pudujana Peramuna Ajit Subasinghe and many others were present at this occasion.
State Minister of Finance Ranjit Siambalapitia says that the economic growth in the last quarter of this year will become plus. Addressing the media briefing at the Yovita area yesterday, the State Minister said that the national economy can be grown by the contribution of all individuals in the society. State Minister of Finance Ranjit Siambalapitia said that no one expected that the inflation would decrease rapidly. However, the central bank predicted the situation rather early. To strengthen the national economy, all individuals must contribute at the highest possible level. The government is constantly seeking solutions for these problems.
Well, that's a look at local news. Stay with us. Foreign news, we bring you stories about 10 people being killed in a wedding.
Prima Katami Bantamai.
At least 10 wedding guests have been killed in a bus crash after a vehicle that hired to transport them for the ceremony overturned in the Hunter Valley, a popular wine-growing region of Australia, as police charged the driver with multiple counts of dangerous driving. The bus was travelling through a roundabout when it rolled near the New South Wales town of Greater, about 2.5 hours northwest of Sydney. New South Wales Acting Assistant Commissioner Tracy Chapman said 36 people were on the bus, including the 58-year-old driver who was unhurt. He was arrested and later charged with 10 counts of dangerous driving, occasioning death, and will appear in court. The remaining 25 passengers were taken to several hospitals in the region and some had been discharged as of Monday afternoon. New South Wales Police Commissioner Karen Webb said the driver underwent mandatory testing for alcohol and drugs, and the cause of the crash may not be known for some time. Part of the investigation will include if seatbelts were fitted to the bus and if they were worn at the time of the accident.
Ukraine has lost 16 US supplied armored vehicles in the past 7 days. According to the open source intelligence analysis, as the country's military announced its force has captured 3 villages from Russia in an offensive in the eastern Donetsk region. The 16 US Bradley infantry fighting vehicles destroyed or damaged and abandoned in recent days, almost 15% of the 109 that Washington has given to Kyiv, according to the Dutch open source intelligence website, which has been collecting visual evidence of military equipment losses in Ukraine since Russia's invasion began. The Bradley fighting vehicle, which moves on tracks rather than wheels, can hold around 10 troops and is used to transport personnel into battle while providing support reporting fire. Despite the loss of the Bradleys, analysts said it doesn't necessarily pretend problems for the Ukraine's effort to push back the Russian invaders. The Bradleys are among the almost 3,600 pieces of military equipment Ukraine has lost in the war. Meanwhile, the website says that it documented the loss of more than 10,600 pieces of Russian military equipment. Despite the loss of the Bradleys, Ukraine reports that it has taken back at least 3 villages from Russian forces in fighting over the weekend. According to information released by the Deputy Defense Minister Hanna Maliar, Ukraine's advance south from a frontline town in the Donetsk region now stretches somewhere between 5 and 10 kilometers.
Philippine authorities say that the country's most active volcano began spewing lava and sulfuric gas Sunday, prompting the evacuation of nearly 13,000 residents in the southeast of the country's main island. Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology recommended everyone within a 6-kilometer radius or danger zone of the Mount Mayon volcano will be evacuated due to the danger of rockfalls, landslides and ballistic fragments. Since the alert level on the volcano has raised to 3 out of possible 5 on Thursday, 88% of the residents living in the danger zone have been evacuated and efforts to relocate the rest are ongoing. The Philippine Provincial Information stated, situated on Luzon Island, about 330 kilometers southwest of Manila, Mayon is one of the world's most active volcanoes. Images showed families in Albay province carrying children in their belongings, boarding trucks and military vehicles, taking shelter at evacuation centers in local schools. Philippine Institute of Volcanology warned that the hazardous eruption is possible within weeks or even days after detecting a relatively high level of unrest at the volcano.
Moving to India, the foreign media reports that a storm off India's west coast has strengthened to become a powerful cyclone and could hit India's western state of Gujarat and southern parts of Pakistan this week. The cyclone named Bijaproy is expected to make landfall on Thursday afternoon between Mandip in Gujarat and Karachi in Pakistan with maximum sustained wind speed of 125 to 135 kilometers per hour, gusting to 150 kilometers per hour. The Indian Meteorological Department said nearly a dozen districts in coastal Gujarat would be affected by heavy rainfall and gust-blowing winds, although some of the parts are sparsely populated, which would limit the damage, said a weather official who declined to be named. Fishermen in Gujarat have been advised against going to sea, and those at sea level have been called back, with 21,000 boats parked so far, the government said. Offshore oil installations have also been asked to ensure immediate return of all manpower, and 2 of India's largest ports, Kandal and Mundra, located in Gujarat, have been altered, while other ports have been advised for preventive action. India's weather department has issued warnings to local authorities in Gujarat and has asked them to make preparations to evacuate people if needed.
3 British nationals are missing after a scuba diving boat that they were cruising in caught fire off Egypt's Red Sea coastline. In a short statement, Egypt's Red Sea Governorate said 12 crew members and 12 British tourists were rescued when a medium-sized scuba diving boat christened Hurricane went up in flames off the southern Red Sea resort town of Marsa Alam. A search party was launched to find the remaining 3 British tourists whose identities were not revealed. Following an initial examination of the vessel, Egyptian authorities said an electrical short circuit in the boat's engine room sparked the blaze. The boat was on a 6-day cruise and due to back on Sunday when the blaze broke out while it was about 25 kilometers north of Marsa Alam. Britain's Foreign Office said that it was in contact with the Egyptian authorities and is supporting the British nationals involved.
Cut to me, Bantamay!
Welcome back with your sports update, and it's netball. The Sri Lanka netball team was able to clinch up with their 2nd consecutive victory at the Asian National Youth Netball Championship against Brunei, and the tournament is held in South Africa.
Sri Lanka team ended the first half of the match 41 for 9 points. In the second half, Sri Lanka scored 41 for 7 points. Accordingly, Sri Lanka won the match for 82 for 16 point huge margin. Sri Lanka team won the first match played against South Korea. The emerging Asian Women's Cricket Tournament organised by the Asian Cricket Council is now being held in Hong Kong. Sri Lanka emerging women's team won the match against United Arab Emirates team by 3 wickets. Batting first, UAE's team scored 95 runs all out in 19.3 overs. In reply, Sri Lanka's women's players won the match, scoring 96 runs for the loss of 7 wickets in 19.5 overs. The unofficial test match between Sri Lanka A and visiting South Africa A teams commenced at Pallekele International Cricket Stadium today. Batted first, Sri Lanka A team scored 325 runs for the first innings. The 18th Asia Pacific Regional Interstate Sports Ministers Conference on Steroids began in Colombo today. This has been jointly organised by the Ministry of Sports, Sri Lanka Illegal Steroids Control Agency and the World Anti-Steroids Agency. Sports ministers from 8 countries and 36 special representatives from 36 countries participated in this conference. The big match between Walala A. Ratnayaka Central College and Nugavela Central College will be played at the Askaria Cricket Grounds in Kandy tomorrow and the day after. Novak Djokovic and Serbia set a record as the tennis player who had won the maximum number of Grand Slam tennis tournaments. He set this record by winning the final match of the French Open tennis tournament. He defeated Norwegian Kasper on 3-0 rounds in finals. This is the 23rd Grand Slam championship won by him.
And with that, we conclude tonight's news. Do it just tomorrow at the very same time. I'm Charita, signing off with you. Stay safe. Good night.